What is the English Versatility class? Hi, I'm Katie Van Slyke, and let's talk about it. This is the second episode of deep diving into each class that the quarter horse world offers. The American Quarter Horse, I might be a little biased, is one of the most versatile horse breeds out there, and they can truly do anything. And so our first episode, we talked about Western pleasure. Now let's deep dive into an English class. This is actually a new class that is proposed in AQHA. It is also offered in APHA, which is the American Paint Horse Association. If there are other associations that offer this, please let me know in the comments. But let's deep dive into what this class entails. Up until now, AQHA has offered a couple of English flat classes, including Hunter Under Saddle and Hunt Seat Equitation. Both things are based on either the horse's movement or the rider completing a pattern. The pattern was always flat work. And then there was also jumping classes. There was a mixture of speed events and then also events that are judged on how the horse jumps or how the rider guides the horse around the course. And we can go into those classes later. But the versatility is a very accessible class for both horse and rider to not only showcase the horse's movement, but maneuvers that would go beyond a flat class, would go beyond a walk, trot, canter, and a hand gallop. It would then either prepare the rider and the horse for a hunter course, or if it's the case where the horse might not be able to jump, the rider might not be able to jump, it still allows them to showcase those talents. The overall goal is to create a fun, engaging class that has a willing horse, a forward-moving horse with light contact that exhibits all the maneuvers and transitions that are needed for those other classes and to go past flat work. So, we now have an AQHA professional who is going to deep dive into it and actually give us a demonstration of the class. We also were lucky enough to watch the class at the World Equestrian Center this past April, and we were able to get some show footage of the class actually being exhibited. So if you would like to keep watching, here it is. So what a pleasure. We actually get to speak with Miss Lainey DeBoer about this class. So Lainey is a multiple world and Congress champion, trainer, exhibitor. She was Horsewoman of the Year. And then there is another title, but it's a mouthful. What was it?
So I'm the leading open woman rider of most AQHA World Championships won.
Yeah, so she's just like won everything. It's incredible. I remember watching you as a trainer as a youth, and I would go watch you in the Hunters, and I just have respected you for so long. So I'm so excited to get to talk about this class. This class, I wish it was around when I was a youth and a young amateur showing, because I really think that this is like, I'm like itching to get a horse to show in this, because this is my kind of thing. So essentially, if you want to take it away and talk about where this class came from, where it originated, and then the thought process behind it and all that good stuff.
So David Dellin and Sandy Jurkowski created this wonderful class, and they got a hold of me and told me, you know, what it was about and what their goal was, and would AQHA be interested. And I was like, oh my gosh, this was just, for me, completely brilliant. And also, I wish I would have thought of it. I mean, I got a little mad because I was like, Dave, I'm really mad at you because this is brilliant, and I am really, can't believe I didn't think of it. So anyways, I worked with them to kind of understand the class and create some patterns, and we started thinking about it for the quarter horse, and we thought of it as a pilot program first, because that's a great way to get things started. That's how we did with the progressive working hunter. And what we came to find out as we got the class more developed was it's a class for everyone. I think that's the most exciting part. It's for an all-arounder to practice patterns and go more forward. It's for the hunters to get some ring time by themselves without it being in a jumping competition. It's for people like Cece, who's 70, who maybe are just starting to jump out and they want to jump and they want to get involved. And even it's something for me to create hunt seat eck horses. We never have had that, and I've had a lot of hunt seat eck riders, and they've had to create their own classes. So, and it's also for the undersaddle horses to just dip their foot in the pool in a more forward, uphill, ground covering situation. So we can kind of evaluate them as a prospect and decide if this would maybe be something to pursue.
Well, absolutely. And the hunter saddle, it's a great foundational class. It teaches them how to move their body. It is based on their movement. So you're trying to create just an exceptional moving hunter horse, but you're going to walk, trot, canter, then that's all you do. And so to get them thinking and to give them something else to do, I mean, mentally, this is so good for them to have to think about where their feet are going over the poles, strides, all the transitions, the speed changes. You're going from a hand gallop back down to the canter. You're going from the canter to the sitting trot. You're going, it's really incredible. And like you said, it helps you as a trainer to build an eq horse, because if you don't know, in AQHA, equitation on the flat, horsemanship, showmanship, those are all non-pro classes. They are for the youth and amateurs. Professionals can't show in them. And so when you're creating a horse for that, they create it outside of the pen, but when you go into a big arena and you're the only one out there, it's very different. And so for you to be able to feel a horse in that situation and then tell your client, okay, when you're in this situation, this is how you go about whatever this horse is doing, differently from in the warm-up pen. So it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I can't replicate this as a trainer for this situation. So, and it's funny because I've had a lot of world champion hunt seat eq riders, and now that I've done this class twice, I now can feel the, being in there alone, riding away from the gate, riding towards the gate, trying to map out the track work, all that stuff. That was stuff that I didn't really appreciate, and probably I appreciate it more now than ever that I've done this class, because that is all the ingredients that I actually use to get ready to jump, but to be able to lay it out in a ring with no jumps and really have to be aware of my horse's body and, they're bending and they're in front of my leg and they're connected and upward downward transitions and the track work. It's a little tricky, I guess I have to call them each and every one of them and apologize for getting on them about it, because it's not so easy, but it's been very good for my riding. I'm a person that always feels like I can learn more, and I feel like this really opened up some things in my riding that maybe were lacking, and it's been really a journey for me as well as a trainer and getting to know my horses.
And it is a cool thing. Equitation was my favorite class. It's probably what I was the most successful in when I was showing. And, you go in there and you're thinking so much about yourself, because equitation is based on the rider, mostly. And so you're thinking so much about your leg. You're thinking so much about being soft, and sure, you still need to do that. But having this class be based on the horse and being able to work on, like you said, the mapping out, the transitions, and your horse part of it, that can translate so well into equitation on the flat. Because you come in here, you work on your horse, and then you put all the pieces together for the eq, you tighten yourself up, and then you've got this really cool team.
Yeah, and I think the side effect for me in this class is that if you don't ride it effectively, it tells on you. Like, it will come up in the pattern and it will kind of bubble to the top. So it really is good for the eq because it's form and effectiveness.
Right.
And I think we've gotten away a little bit from that. We're all kind of about the form, but it's really, truly, this really helps you, ride your horse and really go forward and really do some challenging things. So I just love it.
Just watching it, this line, which is supposed to kind of emulate a jumping line, right? You're supposed to have your strides. You're supposed to have a good distance away from the poles before you go over them. It's difficult. It's difficult to time it. And then if you're not moving forward, you're not going to make it to the second pole. And then you've got a short step and that doesn't look good. So it's a lot. But if you don't mind taking Bob, this is Backyard Bob. And since you have your mic, you can kind of talk us through the pattern if you don't mind.
Sure. So I'm going to line up across the diagonal, and I'm just going to walk nice and forward and have a nice purposeful walk. That's what you want, leg into hand, nice purposeful walk, and a nice straight track. Then I'm going to pick up a trot, and it's just a posting trot on the left diagonal, and I'm just creating a nice straight line. Then I'm going to slowly open him up into a little bit more of a lengthened trot. He's a little green, so I'm just going to ask him a little bit. And then I'm going to come around the turn and get nice and straight to the rails. And I'm just going to work on the balance of the rails and just set them right into the middle. And then I'm going to pick up my right lead canter. I'm going to come across the diagonal. This horse doesn't have a lead change, so I'm going to do a nice simple change. Right past center. He kind of knows. back to the trot. There, good. So could have had a little smoother lead change. Now I'm gonna just have a normal canter, shape him to the left with an inside bend. Then as I come by the in gate, I'm just gonna get up in my 2-point and start to hand gallop like I'm cantering to a jump. Whoa, whoa. Good, now I'm gonna come back into a regular working canter, going up the middle. And I'm aiming for the center line. And right about at X, I'm gonna do a sitting trot. Good. And then I wanna keep my horse nice and straight and in front of my leg. And then I'm gonna go to a working walk, nice and smooth. And this is where I'm gonna take my time into a halt. Good. And then I'm gonna back. Good. And now I'm gonna do a little turn on the forehand, 180. Oops. Good. And then I'm gonna come right to the trot with a little hairpin turn to the left. So I wanna get my horse nice and forward and connected, coming around the turn. And then I'm gonna straighten his body out. And that's the end of the pattern.
Okay, well, thank you, Bob, and thank you, Lainey, for this, demonstration. I think this class is going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, I'm like biting at the bit. Where can I have I think Sophie, maybe Erlene, take him out of breeding for a little bit and come do this class, because I think this would be so much fun. So yeah. I'm very excited for it. Thank you so much, and I guess look for it at your local AQHA show. Hopefully, it's going to be at more shows soon. Mm-hmm. Do you know this year how many shows we'll have?
Yep, we have the Madness in Ohio coming up, the Premier in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. We've got the Lucky 7 in Tennessee.
Gotcha.
We have the Big A in Georgia. And then we're working on hopefully the World Show maybe being a stakes class. So
maybe Denver in the future has to wear the tiny saddle.
Yes.
And I'm trying to get her to add it to the TQHA show in June, because I can't do the Lucky 7. I haven't had my breeches on in like years, but if maybe I could work towards it if we had something in the summer. So we'll see about it. But I appreciate your time so much.
I want to thank you. I mean, this is really a big deal for us to have this lady get behind it, and just all that she does for the industry. I see it from afar. And I really appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate
it's
you
really
so much.
sweet that this is a class that could really transform the English horse. It's a stepping stone that we don't have in place. Mm-hmm. So for me, what you're doing is very helpful. I'm kind of on the slide of retirement soon, and I think this is something I want to leave as a legacy, and you're really helping me with the advancement of the English horse.
Well, so I appreciate you so much, and I really hope we can do it. Yeah. I hope we can get it out there. So if you got a horse that can do this, which I'm sure you do, because they can all do it, get out there and show it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Let's talk with Miss Cece Campbell. We just watched her show. She did fantastic. Now, Miss Cece, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Can you tell us how old you are?
I'm 70, super select this year.
She's a super select this year. So she's here with Yoo-Hoo, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, who she bred and has raised, and he is beautiful. So can you tell us a little bit about your history with the quarter horse, and also what you think this class will offer and what you love about it?
Yeah. When I was a young girl, I did show a quarter horse, and then, took a break when my daughter showed quarter horse and open, and we lived in California. She did great, and then my granddaughter for the last 10 years has been doing AQHA shows. She's flying from Washington, and this is actually the horse that we raised for her. She got busy in high school. She's a senior in high school, very smart, very darling, just busy. She has a horse up there too. But so he was 5 years old, and I'm like, there's not a lot of English, and we always thought he should jump. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, I talked to my friend Joanne Niffenegger, and Ryan Painter trains at her farm. And Ryan and Morgan and Lance and the whole team have been wonderful. This whole last year, I got to ride him on the flat while Ryan trained him to do jumping. I haven't jumped in a long time. And I took jump lessons at home with Cindy Ramirez-Smith, who's darling. And I jumped one time in January when I came down for the Gulf and Gold Coast here at WEC. And then this was my second time to jump. This is his second time in competition. Ryan's just done amazing with him. And I got to jump in the hunter hack, and I actually won the circuit and was reserve circuit. I can't believe it. He's the most wonderful partner.
So you started jumping with him this past year?
No, this show.
This show?
This is it.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That's incredible.
And so it was wonderful. He won the Huntsy Deck too today, and so and
with
he won.
You?
Yeah, and he won.
So you won it?
Yeah. Well, we did it, and he's just the best partner. I just can't believe it. His mother, we showed her whole career. First 5 rides I bought her, and she's a wonderful mare. She did everything from English to Western riding, and my granddaughter rode her whole career. And then we did an embryo transfer one time with Too Sleepy to Zip, and this is it 6 years later.
That's awesome. So taking your background and then now you're getting into the jumping, what do you think the English Versatility does for you, for your horse? What's your favorite part about it?
It's like a precursor to jumping. It's fabulous because you start thinking about strides. I love it, and I love that they give you a couple of minutes to practice. It's not like trying to be so strict. It's saying, hey, you can do this. I mean, if anybody wants to learn to jump, this is it. I mean, and you don't have to go over big jumps and I mean, even in the hunter hack, they make it really so user-friendly or something, and if I can do it, anybody can, because I mean, really, I always wanted to do it, just never had the opportunity. And so,
well, you're out here actually doing the jumping, but it's also a really cool thing for those that maybe can't do.
Exactly. I mean, this is it. I mean, it's the funnest class, and the maneuvers are so fun and really give your horse a chance to spread out and you know, all the things that
think as well.
Yeah,
you know, something different. Than
and if you look at the horses, they're just happy out here doing this. It's a really fun class. I'm so grateful to be a part of it and a part of AQHA. It's a wonderful industry and wonderful organization.
Well, I'm so glad that we got to chat today and I got to watch you show. Congratulations. She's got her ribbon, her little first place ribbon. So we are so happy for you. And thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Katie, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So that is the English Versatility. I'm so excited to try to find a horse to show in this. Maybe I'll break out one of my hunter under saddle brood mares and maybe see if they like it or not. I think it'd be really fun to break them open, do a couple of transitions, have some fun where it's not necessarily an equitation class that is based on me as a rider, and I can just go in there and ride a forward moving horse with lots of transitions, and it's a fun different pattern every time. So let me know what you think about this class. Is it something that you would like to show with your horse? Is it something that you think AQHA needed? And then let us know what else you would like for us to deep dive into in our next episode.